Nigeria. The Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohaneye, last week threatened to sue the Maitama District Hospital in Abuja over the death of Greatness Olorunfemi, a 33-year-old woman who was stabbed and pushed out of a moving vehicle on September 26th. In a now viral video, the minister could be heard accusing the hospital staff of negligence and vowed to use Olorunfemi's death to set an example.
Little thing that you people would have done to resuscitate somebody ends up leaving that person to die off. And you people were still asking the people to carry the corpse out of the hospital. The videos are there. We have evidences on this issue. But we want to use your hospital as a typical example that it will never happen again anywhere else. Because that girl that died belonged to somebody. She's a Nigerian citizen. She was a Nigerian citizen. It's a state child.
With due respect, the video trending was false.
How?
Yes. This lady, when she was brought in as a BID. We call it BID, brought in dead. My nurse promptly saw and called in the doctor.
What did they use to show she was dead? How did they know that?
She checked the radar pulse.
Madam, is it enough to just check the pulse? Don't you people have oxygen? Don't you have those things they use to pump the heart? Okay, how do we see this video you're talking about?
It's with the MD panel.
The panel.
I have joined the panel. Give me a seat. Okay, what is it? We all know, you and I know, that this is not the first time this thing is happening. It happens in most of the hospitals. They keep rejecting people. We're changing the narratives now with the new president. It cannot continue. I went to Maitama Hospital to get the names of those people that were on duty that day to sue them to court. Because I will not leave any stone unturned on this particular issue.
Well, all right. While on Monday, the minister threatened to sue the United Nations for allegedly mismanaging funds meant for Nigeria. Kennedy Ohaneye made the comment at a press conference where she accused the UN of obtaining funds on behalf of the country without remitting them. The minister further threatened that if the global body does not furnish her ministry with the necessary records on or before November 15th, she would take legal action.
And I stand here as the Minister of Women Affairs to demand from UN, all the UN, that we want account of all the money they sourced from donors in the name of Nigeria. We want to see the account of what they did with it. And if you don't give us these accounts, at least let Nigerians see what has been going on, then you plead with them, apologize to them, and change your way. From 16th of October to November 15th, if we don't get those reports published for Nigerians to see, we are heading to court. From 16th of October to November 8th, they get our pre-action letter. That is to prepare them that by 15th, we are heading to court. And I'm promising Nigeria that as far as immediately it is that 15th, by the next day, you will hear the lawsuit number. And all of you will gather to that place the day the case will come on and come for them to defend the money they are using you to collect from them.
Well, all right, Dr. Bati, over to you. So many things to discuss here. First, I mean, we'll see the action she's going to take with all UN to start with. But let me just say, I mean, the first story, as well, I would like for you to tie both of them in, because I wouldn't want you to forget the first story. We all know that a panel had already been set up for Olorunfemi's death. May her soul rest in peace. But I mean, she went ahead to, add her ministry into that panel as well. Dr. Bati.
Okay, first, the lady that died, that was pushed out of a one-chance vehicle.
Yes.
Greatness Olorunfemi, very unfortunate.
Yes, absolutely.
But the concern here is well placed that, when people are gunshot victims or, they have an emergency, they go to the hospital. We've had many cases whereby, the hospital will reject those persons in distress.
Yes.
Either they would say, oh, the person was brought in there, or they will direct them to go to another hospital. Now, the issue, when it became really a source of concern, was that these hospitals, they say they don't want to get involved in any police matter. So they will then insist that you go and bring police report first and find a way of indemnifying them. The second part also is monetary. When you have an emergency, you go to the hospital, you know, maybe many of these private hospitals, they will insist you must deposit a certain amount of money. But in this case, this is a general hospital, you know, government hospital. But it's shocking that, you know, government hospitals also ask persons, you know, in emergency situations to make a deposit. Well, it was for this reason that in 2017, there was a law, you know, that was made compulsory treatment of gunshot victims law of 2017. And there are penalties there, even for doctors, for medical personnel, you know, of imprisonment and even option of fine or both. Because as Professor Patti, the Minister of Health, was saying the other day, and you should know, you know, he was saying that, look, the primary job of a medical personnel is to save lives, whatever the circumstance. And that is what the Hippocratic Oath is all about. But things have gone so bad in Nigeria that even doctors run away from patients, you know, for monetary reasons and for police problems. So the concern that she has expressed there, that's okay. But about the UN, she says all UN. The UN has so many agencies, okay, and it has a membership of 193 countries, and it doesn't collect money on behalf of countries. You know, it's not a donor, you know, money collecting agency. The relevant agency, in our own case, she is Minister of Women Affairs, is UN Women. Okay, and UN Women, their big job is about ensuring that there's no gender, there's no discrimination against women, that the sustainable development goal in Agenda 2030 with regard to gender equality is achieved. UN Women, you know, brought out the Beijing proposal on CEDAW, elimination of Convention on the Elimination of Discrimination Against Women. These are the things that they do if she's talking about UN Women. But in any case, she didn't tell us where the money was collected on behalf of Nigeria. She didn't tell us who the donors were. She has no clue about the amount. Now she says she wants to take the UN to court. Which court? Where? Is it to the International Criminal Court or International Court of Justice?
Is it the Ministry of Women Affairs that
this is why I made a point that one of the major omissions of this administration is that President Tinubu is here to organize a retreat for his ministers. Many of these people are just coming from nowhere with no sound knowledge. And then you go and give them an important ministry to run. They will be behaving like a villager all over the place, not understanding the basic issues involved. But the whole idea of a ministerial retreat will be for you to bring experts, people who have been in the particular ministries, to give them reading materials and then to guide them, so that you won't find this kind of, you know, this kind of embarrassment. I dare say that what this minister has done by saying she's going to sue the UN, and the details of which we do not know, she's causing Nigeria gross embarrassment. Yes. And she needs to be properly educated about the relationship between the United Nations and its 193 member nations who are sovereign states. Because the main objective of the UN is to promote global peace and justice across board.
No, she has caused us major embarrassment, very major ones, and it's not a laughing matter. Please, on behalf of Nigeria, I would like to beg UN, please, this just act like you didn't see this video. I'm on my knees, begging, please, just act like you didn't see this. It's AI. It was AI that generated it. It didn't happen.
How can you be making me laugh?
No. I'm serious. What's wrong? Please. Just see that it's AI that generated it. Do you know also the kind of atrocities this woman has been committing in meetings with multilateral agencies? The kind of things she's been saying. We are lucky that she's saying this one in public. That's what she's saying to UN agencies like UNICEF and the likes and some other people in private. Do you know? Do you know the butt of jokes we have become? And that's why we say leadership matters. Please, it's also incumbent. It's not everybody that tries to run for president that should be given positions. And let's stop this quota system. Let's stop this quota system.
No, we need a quota system. Just give it to the right people.
Okay, just give it to the right people. Thank you for correcting me, Ayo. Just give it to the right people, because people like this denigrate that system.
Yeah.
And she has been a joke and a laughing stock everywhere, making this country, you know, look like we are jokes. And please, this is not a reflection of Nigerians. This is the same woman that talked about, that was glorifying child labor live on a TV platform.
Yeah.
This is the same woman that was trying to harass people, that, you know, they are just going through the case of, you know, sexual harassment allegedly and things like that.
All right, Rufai.
I just needed to say that.
Yes,
it's very sad.
But I feel it's unfair that I let two men talk about a woman. Ayo, quickly, just
I don't know if I'm
comment.
going to say anything different. The only thing I want to say is that international organizations like the UN have a very strict reporting process, especially when it has to do with financial matters.
Yes.
And so what I would recommend, let me give a recommendation, because I mean, this is a woman and I really want her to succeed. Perhaps she should get a team together. She has the money to employ people who would manage and help, you know, policy advisors who would, you know, vet her statements and her, you know, her speeches before she goes. Let her not speak off the cuff.
Yeah.
We want her to succeed, but she needs to do the job and represent women well.
Well said, Ayo.